Forget Okay. Good morning, everybody. We'll be starting shortly. Some housekeeping before we start. There is no fire or evacuation drill planned, and there are no fire alarms in this building. If a fire is discovered, we will make you aware by announcing it here, and you'll be asked to make your way to the nearest exit. Our staff will direct you, so please just take direction from them. If possible, please do not leave the church until the ceremony finishes. Please turn your phones and mobile devices to silent. Our graduates, academics and platform party will be entering shortly. For those who are able, please be upstanding when the piper starts to play. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Professor Brian Williams, and I'm the head of the School of Health, Social Care and Life Sciences at UHI. It's my absolute privilege to be the one welcoming you here today in this beautiful building to celebrate the achievements of our graduands of 2022. A cause for celebration. Today is indeed a very special day. Looking back at the end of a year, how many days do any of us really recall distinctly? The majority are lost to the mundane but necessary routines of everyday life. They may be enjoyable, delightful, and life-defining, but still they remain in a single dimension of our existence and history. However, there are days, seconds, minutes, or hours that puncture the routine and the mundane. They stand out as significant stopping-off points when we travel back in time. Like tiny seeds lying dormant, a moment of reflection and attention is all that they need to bring them back to life. Within seconds, our emotions, thoughts, and senses are all back there in that moment, remembering, reliving, perhaps smiling or laughing, crying, or perhaps simply being at peace. I do hope that graduation today will be one of those moments for each one of you, one that will stay long in the memory, one that will evoke both joy, pride, and a real and deserved sense of achievement for many years to come. And one that will not only herald the climax of one journey, but the start of another. So, welcome, graduands, proud family and friends, notable guests and staff from UHI to the graduation ceremony of 2022. It's my pleasure now to hand over to Dr. Nicola Carey, Head of the Department of Nursing and Midwifery.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Professor Williams. As Brian has said, my name is Dr. Nicola Carey, and I'm the head of the Department of Nursing and Midwifery. Before the proceedings get going, we'd love to get a group photo of everyone. So our photographer, Tim, is directly above the main stage in front of you. So, he's here. Oh, sorry. He's not. He's here. If you can get yourselves at the ready, can all the graduates stand if you're able and give yourselves a big cheer for the photograph? Anytime now. Perfect. Right. That's great. Thank you. So I'd now like to invite Dr. Michelle Beattie, who's a senior lecturer in the Department of Nursing and Midwifery, to announce the award of our first honorary doctorate.
Vice Principal, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and graduates, it is my great pleasure to be here today to introduce Claire Morrison as a recipient of an honorary doctorate of the University of the Highlands and Islands. Claire is best known for her outstanding contribution in the field of co-designing healthcare services by using technology, otherwise known as Near Me. Batalden and Davidoff tell us that improvers come to work every day to do two things. One, to do their job, and two, to improve the job they do. And Claire is a great example to our students and graduates of what can be achieved by this approach. The Department of Nursing and Midwifery has sought to ready graduates not only to be an essential part of our workforce, but to be change agents, continuously improving healthcare services. It's a big ask, but Claire shows us it's achievable. Claire trained as a pharmacist in 1997, achieving a first-class honours at the University of London. She moved to the Highlands in 2005, initially setting up 2 pharmacy prescribing services. Her strategic leadership potential was recognised in 2016 when Claire successfully secured a Scottish Quality and Safety Fellowship. The fellowship aims to develop and strengthen clinical leadership and improvement capability within NHS Scotland. Part of this fellowship involves learning from other organisations. So, Claire arranged to spend some time with Intermountain Healthcare in the USA, an organisation facing similar challenges of providing healthcare services in remote and rural areas. While there, Claire learnt of a new video consultant platform called Attend Anywhere, and she immediately saw its potential for our Highland and Island communities. Back home, Claire developed the systems and processes necessary to use Attend Anywhere to enable people living in remote communities to access pharmacy consultations. But she didn't stop there. What about all of our other outpatient appointments? With most outpatient appointments taking place in Inverness, in NHS Highland, some patients might need to travel 3 hours in each direction for a 10-minute appointment. So Claire created Near Me, a video consultant service enabling people to access outpatient appointments with clinicians from their own home or a local clinic. Work started in late 2017 with the future beckoning in an entirely unpredictable fashion. It's Claire's genuine approach to working with people who will use the service, otherwise known as co-design, which was a critical element in the project's success. Claire adapted the approach to using Near Me after every appointment, utilising feedback from patients, clinicians and non-clinical staff to continually improve and adapt the service. In fact, patients even chose the name of Near Me. This led to Claire securing a national role, joining the Scottish Government's technology-enabled care team as a national Near Me lead in January 2020. The aim of that was to spread Near Me across Scotland over the following 2 years. But of course, COVID-19 arrived and turned our world upside down. The project went from a 2-year to a 12-week timescale. The project transformed our healthcare, with Near Me consultations increasing from 300 consultations in week 1 to over 17,000 a week per week 12. And there were countless stories of people being able to access care during the pandemic who would otherwise not have received care. What makes Claire even more admirable is she underplays her contribution. She is humble and modest. I had the pleasure of working with Claire on a small project of co-designing Near Me with one of our rural communities, and she has a natural ability to build authentic relationships with anyone, regardless of who they are. When we finished, we planned to publish. Claire asked me how long would it take to write a publication. As many academics know, this can take months, sometimes years. We looked at our diaries. I have a week free before Christmas. She said, I think we can do this. We wrote and submitted the paper in a week. It's Claire's ability to tap into others' intrinsic motivation, her can-do mentality and tenacity that sets her apart from most. Claire's current post is Director for Scotland at the Royal Pharmaceutical Society, and she will start the very apt post of Director of Community Engagement at Healthcare Improvement Scotland in January 2023. Claire's outstanding work was recognised in 2018 with the award of an MBE for services to healthcare. Her work is known internationally. At the International Forum for Quality and Safety in 2019, attended by more than 3,400 delegates from 75 countries, in his plenary speech, Jason Leach, our National Clinical Director, presented Morrison's theory as a roadmap to successful change. Appropriately, the speech was entitled, "People Make It Happen." Claire's work should inspire the graduates here today to be among these people. As Theodore Roosevelt reminds us, believe you can and you're halfway there. Vice Principal, for her outstanding contribution to promoting and enhancing access to public services and specifically to digital health within the Highlands and nationally through the development of Near Me and numerous safety initiatives, I invite you to confer an honorary doctorate of the University of the Highlands and Islands on Claire Morrison.
Thank you, Dr. Beattie, and congratulations again to Dr. Claire Morrison. I'd now like to invite Professor Michael Rayner, Dean of Research and Knowledge Exchange, to announce the award of our second honorary doctorate.
Vice Principal, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and graduates. It's my very great pleasure to be here today to introduce to you David Lurie, Emeritus Professor of the University of Aberdeen, as a recipient of an honorary doctorate of the University of the Highlands and Islands. There are a number of reasons why an individual might be invited to receive an honorary doctorate from a university. Sometimes this can be in recognition of civic contributions or particularly noteworthy activities in an area that is directly related to the interests of the awarding institution. Somewhat rarely these days, and perhaps a little surprisingly, are such awards given in recognition of academic merit and contribution. I'm particularly delighted, therefore, to be able to introduce Professor David Lurie for such an award. Now, David Lurie may not be known directly by many of the university's postgraduate research students, but I can assure them that without him, their life and journey through their research degree studies at UHI would have been less rich and rewarding than they have been. Not only is David an eminent scientist with a high international profile and reputation for his contributions to research, learning, and teaching in the field of magnetic resonance imaging, MRI technology, and its applications, primarily in biomedicine. But for over 12 years, he unstintingly applied his vast academic and supervisory experience in helping us develop and embed our own research degree programs in UHI. And these provisions have in turn received sector-leading recognition for their excellence, not least in terms of the care and support we offer to students and their supervisors. David has been our invaluable external member of the university's Research Degrees Committee over this time. His wise counsel, unstinting support, and gentle yet firm interventions on matters of policy, procedure, and general research student matters have been invaluable. He also played a crucial role in our quest for research degree awarding powers, which we successfully achieved in 2017. And he continued with us subsequently to embed those powers in truly effective ways. He's now stepped down from that committee, and so it's only right and proper that we are able to recognise his contribution through the award of an honorary doctorate of the university. Now, David secured his own PhD in medical physics from Barts Medical College, University of London, in 1984. This followed his MSc in radiation physics, again at Barts, in 1980. and his undergraduate studies at Aberdeen University in natural philosophy. He returned to Aberdeen University first as a research assistant and research fellow from 1983 to 1985, before being appointed a lecturer in 1985, a senior lecturer in 1992, and then being recognised for a personal chair in biomedical physics in 2002. He's held several visiting scholar positions overseas during his career, mainly in the USA, at such distinguished institutions as Johns Hopkins University Medical School, Ohio State University, and the Mayo Clinic. As noted, David's research is mainly concerned with the development of MRI technology and its applications. Previous work in the field by David and his team included proton electric double resonance imaging, PEDRI for short, of free radicals, and continuous wave MRI of solid materials. His most recent research is focused on the development and use of fast field cycling magnetic resonance imaging, FFC MRI for short. He was the coordinator of an EU Horizon 2020 funded research project called Identify, which ran from 2016 to 2019, with 9 teams in 6 countries working to improve FFC MRI, a significant contribution to the field in its own right. David is the author of 8 book chapters, 86 peer-reviewed papers, 6 patents, and over 280 conference abstracts and counting. And he's secured over £11.1 million in research funding as principal investigator since 2007. He's also much in demand as an expert speaker, having delivered over 100 invited, keynote, and plenary addresses worldwide. In June 2019, he was invited to give the IPEM John Mallard Lecture at the UK Imaging and Oncology Congress in Liverpool. And he delivered 3 lectures as visiting faculty at the prestigious Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota in August 2019. David's research excellence and contributions to his field have also been recognised through the award of several notable prizes and accolades, which are too numerous to mention individually. Among these, however, was the award of the Academic Gold Medal of the Institute of Physics and Engineering in Medicine in September 2017 for his, quote, substantial and sustained track record at an outstanding level of contribution to the advancement of academic practice related to physics and engineering applied to medicine and biology. He has been a member of a number of committees and influential bodies over the years, both in the UK and internationally, and he is a Fellow of the Institute of Physics and a Fellow of the Institute of Physics and Engineering in Medicine. For the reasons I've outlined, and in so many ways besides, it's hard to think of a more suitable recipient of the award of an honorary doctorate of the university. And therefore, Vice Principal, for his internationally recognised excellence in his field of research and his significant contribution to the life, activities and values of the University of the Highlands and Islands, in particular with respect to his support for our research and postgraduate research students and supervisory staff, I invite you to confer an honorary doctorate of UHI on Professor David Lurie. Thank you.
Right, I'd now like to start introducing everyone who's going to graduate this afternoon. So first up, for Doctor of Philosophy, exploring the role of health literacy in cardiac rehabilitation, a mixed methods approach, I'm delighted to welcome Roni Walters. For Master of Science, Advanced Nurse Practitioner, Stephen Cargill. Sorry. Oh, sorry, have I done it wrong? Sorry. Oh. Do you want to? All right, okay, sorry. Sorry, Gary.
Sorry, folks. I need to say a few magic words to open the ceremony to make it all official. So, it's not very long, just 2 sides. So it's a great pleasure to be here today to be able to welcome the graduates and family and friends from Inverness, the Highlands and Islands and the Western Isles and further afield. It's fantastic to be here in person in a really wonderful location. I'm particularly pleased to be here officiating at the undergraduate, postgraduate nurses, midwives and paramedics and other healthcare professionals. I was part of the validation panel for the first UHI validation of the nursing degree when it moved across from Stirling, so quite some time ago. And on a personal note, my wife's a nurse and my son's a carer, so this means quite a lot. UHI is a unique place. It's the only tertiary university in the UK where you can go from every single level, from very basic life skills through to postdoctoral research. It punched well above its weight this year in research, came fourth in the undergraduate and first in the postgraduate student experience awards. The sheer diversity of our students came home to me the other day when I was one of the judging panel for the Student of the Year, and we'll meet our Student of the Year later on. The sheer diversity of their learning stories, the adversity they overcome, the gifts they've given to each other in supporting themselves and their friends through their studies is quite remarkable, from Perth to Shetland and from Orkney to Murray. Each of those students has also had to overcome the difficulties of the pandemic, something that you lot will know extremely well. Each of you have dug deep, persevered to overcome your own personal and academic challenges, as well as having to deal with the particular issues of the pandemic. Department of Nursing and Midwifery students have practiced across the Highlands and Islands and the Western Isles, working with their colleagues in the NHS and the third sector to support the students and being supported by supporting staff, and also you yourselves being supported by those NHS staff. And through this, you develop further skills. You've developed, as you've been hearing, the ability to consult and support patients remotely as well as face-to-face, and being able to support the NHS staff through an extremely difficult time. And for that, everybody would like to thank you. I'd also like to thank your family and friends who've supported you and helped you through your studies. And again, we'd like to pass on our thanks to you to support the students who've taken us to this point today. We're nearly there. So now I've got some words that I must say which makes the ceremony formal and opens it up. But before I do that, two pleas from me. So the first thing is, this is called the doffing cap, okay? And as you come forward, I'll shake your hand and I'll touch you lightly on the head. I'll try not to mess up the nice hair. Touch you lightly on the head, and then you become a graduate of the university. There's an ancient tradition. Most universities have something along these lines. St Andrews, apparently their doffing cap's made of the trousers of John Knox, which I think have been cleaned since they used it. So very gently, no need to dodge, no need to duck back. If you're quite tall, if you wouldn't mind bending down, that'd be great. The other thing, and I really mean this, when you come on stage here, you're going to be wanting to dash across really quickly. You're going to be wanting to get it over and done with very quickly. Please don't. Please slow down and try to be in that moment. You've worked so hard to get here. Just try to really be in that moment, and I'll try and be there with you to try and keep you calm, okay? So if you get nervous, focus on the hand, doff your hat, and then I'll be graduated. Okay. So now, in the name of the University of the Highlands and Islands, and by the authority of Academic Council, I declare this ceremony for the award of degrees and academic distinctions open. Thank you.
Okay, well, hopefully second time lucky. So apologies for the misproceedings. Anyway, so moving to the postgraduate diploma advanced nurse practitioner, Lorna McIlvery. Barry McKee. Emma McKee. Tian McKenzie. Katie Pollock with distinction. Tracy Williamson. I'm now moving on to the Bachelor of Science for Nursing adult field. Hayley Abel with distinction. Paige Addison. Miska Siobhan Ainsley with distinction. Christine Anderson with distinction. Chloe Angle. Leanne Bailey with distinction. Yolani Balnaquit with distinction. Debbie Blackley. Fiona Brown with distinction. Ailsa Bruce with distinction. Bethan Bruce. Michaela Cameron with distinction. Laurel Campbell with distinction. Sarah Campbell with distinction. Stephanie Clarkson with distinction. Isla Corbett. Tony Crawford. Emma Darrick. Regan Davidson. Leanne Dixon with distinction. Jade Duncan with distinction. Jordan Ellen with distinction. Gemma Evely with distinction. Dana Fraser. Elizabeth Gent with distinction. Kelly Grant with distinction. Jessica Gregg with distinction. Ailey Gunn with distinction. Katie Hamilton. Leah Hibbert with distinction. Kira Latham with distinction. Gemma Lowry. Paris Longdon with distinction. Rowan Lott with distinction. Lucy Line. Tammy McCartney. Abigail MacDonald. Jennifer MacDonald. Laura McIver with distinction. Jenny McKee with distinction. Jenna McKee. Anne McKinnon with distinction. Jessica MacLeod. Lauren MacLeod with distinction. Megan MacLeod with distinction. Bethany McNeil with distinction. Lorraine McPhee. Vicky MacDonald with distinction. Alana McKee with distinction. Rachel McMorran. Rhiann McNamara with distinction. Heather McQueen Donovan. Karen Middleton with distinction. Matisha Malambo with distinction. Iona Morrison. Caitlin Muir. Kim Munro with distinction. Claire Murray with distinction. Jake Myers with distinction. Georgina Carmen Nicholson with distinction. Emily Pattison Wilson with distinction. Zara Renshaw. Aideen Rush with distinction. Abby Sanderson with distinction. Amy Scott. Laura Elizabeth Short with distinction. Angel Simpson. Maimouna Sissoho with distinction. Samantha Slavin. Lewis Spence with distinction. Christina Stevenson. Chloe Sutherland with distinction. Samuel Thomas with distinction. Amy Thompson with distinction. Sylvia Tiesleray with distinction. Briege Wilcox with distinction. I'm now moving to the Bachelor of Science for Nursing with Mental Health. Alison Allen, distinction. Lisa Black, distinction. Vasiliki Chrysanthokopou, distinction. Christina Coghill. Hedera Drury, distinction. Mo Ferguson. Donna McKee, distinction. Morgan McLean. Tracy Martin. Anne-Marie Milne. Alina Naiwema. Siobhan Unaha. Geraldine Quinn with distinction. Emily Sharp, distinction. Sandra Stanley. And Stephen Walters with distinction. And with a Certificate of Higher Education, Erin Lambert. I'd now like to welcome our guest speaker for today, Mark Richards, Associate Chief Nursing Officer for the Scottish Government. In his role, Mark works between the Mental Health and the Chief Nursing Officer's directorates, with his work focused on the areas such as workforce planning and development and the quality and safety of mental health services. Mark joined the NHS in 1988 and qualified as a registered mental health nurse in 1991. He graduated from Glasgow Caledonian University with a BSc in Forensic Mental Health Nursing in 2001 and has completed postgraduate studies in primary care at the University of Glasgow. He's also trained as a business coach. His early clinical career was spent in forensic mental health services in Perth and Glasgow, and he has held professional leadership and managerial roles in mental health, addictions, learning disability and prison healthcare services. Between 2016 and 2022, he was the Director of Nursing and Operations and Deputy Chief Executive at the State Hospitals Board for Scotland, and until recently he was the Vice Chair of Scotland's Executive Nurse Directors Group. Welcome, Mr. Mark Richards.
Thank you, Dr. Carey. After that wee hiccup earlier, I felt the pressure flowing out of my body before I stood up here to do this speech this afternoon. So, first of all, though, can I also offer congratulations to Dr. Claire Morrison and Professor David Lurie, and it's been a real privilege to meet both of you this morning before the ceremony. So, Fiascair Ma, or good afternoon, everyone. Can I start by saying that I'm delighted to be joining you here today in Inverness and to be part of your graduation celebrations. It's fantastic to be able to have these events in person again and to celebrate with colleagues, friends and family. And it was good to hear some of the shout-outs earlier as some of the graduates were coming across the floor. And indeed, this being the first formal graduation event for UHI's Department of Nursing and Midwifery, so all the more important. So I'm here on behalf of our Chief Nursing Officer, Alex McMahon, who is on holiday at the moment, but Alex has asked me to pass on his congratulations and his best wishes to all of you for what we hope will be a long and rewarding career. And it really was a pleasure to be able to sit and watch each and every one of you come across the stage and receive your awards. But can I make a straightforward but really important point to start with, and to say that careers in nursing, midwifery and healthcare are incredible, and all of you are at the start of a journey that's really got many potential routes and many potential destinations, and you really do all have fantastic careers and fantastic opportunities ahead of you. And as I'm sitting here, I can easily recall my own excitement as a newly qualified registrant and embarking on my own career as a mental health nurse at Murray Royal Hospital in Perth. And I'm proud to have been a mental health nurse for 31 years. Sound ancient, but been doing it for quite a long time. And I've thoroughly enjoyed the experiences and indeed the challenges that my own career has offered. I've laughed during my career, laughed quite a lot. I've cried, I've felt proud, and I've often felt humble. But I've encountered many, many amazing people along the way, and I've worked with nurses who've had a profound and lasting and positive impact on people's lives. And your own careers will also offer fantastic opportunities and experiences for each and every one of you in multiple diverse roles across many different service settings. And what's common to them all, though, is that you too will make a positive, lasting difference to people's lives, and the impact of skillful, compassionate care is significant and is hugely valued by the people that you will work with and that you'll care for. And sometimes what may seem ordinary to you will be received as extraordinary by the person in your care. So don't underestimate the power of caring. I've had feedback from patients lots of times during my career that it wasn't the technical parts of what we did, medication, structured psychological therapies, that they felt were most important. It was simply knowing and feeling that the nursing staff that they met genuinely cared. Now, Professor Campbell, I think, highlighted this in his remarks, but I know that your education's also happened during a time that has been, I think, the most challenging time in the history of the NHS as we grappled with the impact of the COVID pandemic. And I'd like to thank all the students and indeed the staff of the University of the Highlands and Islands for all that they've done to support health and social care through the pandemic and to help attend to the health and well-being needs of the people of the Highlands. And I recognise there's been disruption to programmes of nursing education and that this has impacted in areas such as practice placements, but hopefully it didn't have too much of a detriment on you as individuals, and it's fantastic to see you all here today graduating as registrants. Now, our Chief Nursing Officer would want me to cover a few things that he left a list for me to go over, so I'll just cover them just now. So looking forward, the Scottish Government's increased the intake of student nurses and midwives for the 10th year in a row, but we're also looking at the process for how we set these numbers in the future to best meet service demand and, importantly, the number of intakes and outputs from our pre-registration programmes. And in doing so, we're aiming to address some of the workforce supply issues that we're seeing day to day in our services. But of course, our nursing workforce is broader than our registrants, and many of you will also have worked with exceptional staff in nursing assistant and associate roles. We've recently published our Band 2 to 4 framework, and we're supporting the development of Band 4 assistant practitioner roles. But this isn't at the cost of our registrant roles. It's important to say that. It's intended to support career development, serve as a possible pipeline into undergraduate programmes, and roles that are there to work alongside a registered workforce to deliver safe, effective and high quality care. We also need to think carefully about what a diverse and sustainable nursing and midwifery workforce look like. And as I was watching people coming across the stage, I was looking at the age ranges there, so a reasonable mix of ages out in the graduates in front of me. But when I was looking at data recently regarding career choice intentions of young people, care careers do still feature pretty strongly, second top still among young people, do still intend to pursue care careers, many more females than males, so there's certainly work to do in that space, but it's still up there as a career that people do want to pursue. So that in itself is reassuring, but there is much, much more that we do wish to do. So that will include us looking at how we transform nursing roles in Scotland and considering this across all areas of care delivery, and it'll pick up on work that we actually did commence pre-pandemic. And the transformation of nursing roles to meet the current and future needs of Scotland's health and care system is really important, and we need to ensure nationally consistent approaches to these developments. And through that work, we remain committed to maximising the contribution of the nursing and midwifery workforce and pushing the traditional boundaries of our professional roles. So achieving safe staffing is a huge challenge across the NHS on a day-to-day basis, and many of you out in your clinical placements, I expect, will have noted or noticed a rise in the use of agency staff as you've been out on your placements. And we recognise that the rise in the use of agency nursing isn't sustainable, nor is it as safe as we would like it to be for our patients. So we've set up a group chaired by the Chief Nursing Officer to look at how we enable staff to stay local, work local and keep people safe. And in this context, people are patients and our staff, and I expect that our Chief Nursing Officer will say more about that in weeks to come. So that's probably as much as I want to say from the lines that Alex McMahon gave me, and go back to being me again. And I just want to move on and really mention your own health and well-being, because jobs as nurses can be tough. You'll all have experienced that. They're difficult jobs. They're physically difficult. They're mentally and emotionally challenging. And there's lots and lots of examples of nurses reporting burnout, experiencing moral distress, indeed injury in the course of their work. So it's really, really important that you take the time to look after yourselves as you're entering into your registrant careers. So I can still remember my first time in charge of a ward and feeling like an imposter, actually, is what I felt like, a bit like I feel right now, standing up in front of you at the moment. But then speaking to colleagues, understood that everyone had actually felt the same. You know, that wasn't something unique or new that I was feeling. And I also understood that I had lots of people around me to support me, who had many, many years of experience to share. So access your clinical supervision, access your development opportunities that will be in front of you. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. That's a really important thing, because if we're being honest, we all make them. It's the learning from them that's really, really important. But do try and find joy in your work. There is joy, despite how difficult things can be. There's always joy at work, and do enjoy the little things, for one day you may look back and realise that they were actually the big things. So there's no doubt that the past couple of years in particular have been really challenging for all of us who've worked within and for the NHS, and nurses and midwives and others have gone to and continue to go to exceptional lengths to deliver good quality, safe, patient-centred care. It's what we strive to do day by day. Recent vote for strike action, I think it's not just a protest about our pay in nursing, but it's a powerful message from colleagues around the country about the importance of the need to be able to come to work and be confident that we can deliver high quality care each and every day. But lastly, a wee story and try and get things a bit more upbeat and positive again. I trained at Perth College of Nursing and Midwifery, started in 1988, so last century, qualified in 1991, and we met up pre-COVID to celebrate our 30-year anniversary. There was 12 of us. I just had 3 people in my mental health class in Perth, and we were all still nursing, which I thought that in itself was remarkable. We'd taken a variety of career pathways. Some of my colleagues went to the RAF. One of the guys I trained was Colin Pullman, that's the director of the RCN in Scotland. We'd worked in various places, Spain, United States, Saudi, and as Dr. Carey had said, I was a nurse director and deputy chief executive at that time. But all of us had really enjoyed our careers. We reflected at length about the opportunities that it offered, and nobody expressed any regret whatsoever about their career choices. So there's arguably even more opportunity for each and every one of you. I would invite you all to embrace that, and in closing, I wish you all the very best and every success in your careers. Thank you.
Now, to make sure that the proceedings are absolutely correct, I'd like to invite Roni Walters to come back across the stage to be donned and doffed with Gary. So for the Doctorate of Philosophy, Exploring the Role of Health Literacy in Cardiac Rehabilitation, a Mixed Methods Approach, Roni Walters. Thanks, Roni. And in the same vein, for the Masters of Science Advanced Nurse Practitioner, I'd like to invite Stephen Cargill to come back across the stage. Okay, I think we've all donned and doffed. So now we're moving on to a really very important part of the programme. So as you know, graduation is a time when we celebrate the achievements of all our graduates. It also gives us the opportunity to recognise particular individual achievements through our Department of Nursing and Midwifery Student of the Year Award and our Chancellor's Nursing Award, awarded on behalf of our Chancellor, Her Royal Highness the Princess Royal, to a graduating student. This year, these awards are being presented to the same student. Sam Thomas, before you come up to receive these awards, let me explain why you are such a deserving recipient of them. Sam started UHI's BSc nursing programme in 2020 after completing a HNC in healthcare practice at UHA Moray the previous year. His lecturers describe him as an outstanding student who demonstrates a strong work ethic and who continually strives and achieves high academic grades. Sam has built a reputation for going above and beyond the requirements of his degree programme and clinical placements. He has conducted a research study on male attitudes towards nursing as a profession. He's developed a signposting directory for advanced nurse practitioners, and he's created a standardised care plan for catheter care. He's also been commended for his personal qualities with staff and clinicians, praising his kindness, resilience and friendly manner. In the background to these achievements, Sam has been coping with his death as his mum. Despite losing his mum when he was just 17, Sam has been determined to use his grief in a positive way by advocating for those requiring end-of-life care. Sam is graduating with distinction and has received funding to embark on a Masters of Research degree within the UHI Department of Rural Health. He's also secured a role as a rural community staff nurse. Sam, please join us here to receive the Department of Nursing and Midwifery Student of the Year Award. Now, Sam, you've exited too quickly, Sam. So you need to receive your Chancellor's Nursing Award as well. yeah, just. And Sam, if you do just stay there, because there's yet another award for you. So every year, all the academic partners and lead departments like nursing and midwifery across the UHA partnership submit individual students of the year towards an overall award. And I'm absolutely delighted to announce that Sam is the recipient of the UHI Student of the Year Award for 2022. Professor Gary Campbell, Vice Principal for Students, who was on the judging panel for this overall award, will present Sam with his certificate, and well done, Sam. I'm sure we'll all agree it's just wonderful what Sam has achieved, what a deserving student, and I know all the staff and your fellow graduates wish you well for the future. And I'd now like to invite Dr. Sue Bryan, our Dean of Science, Health and Engineering, to give a closing address.
Good afternoon, graduates. On behalf of all of us at UHI, I'd like to take this opportunity to offer my own congratulations to you all. It's been an absolute honour today to be here, to see our graduates, colleagues, friends and family coming together to share in this celebration. It's been a privilege to share these moments with you, and we're all incredibly proud of you and your achievements. For those of you who are joining us for our celebratory reception, we look forward to seeing you at the Centre for Health Sciences shortly. If you're not joining us, please do go and enjoy your celebrations in your own way. You've all absolutely earned it. So as our ceremony comes to a close, We wish you all the continued success as you embark on the next chapter in your lives. Remember, you will always be UHI alumni, and we're always here to support you, and we'd love you to keep connected to us. So on behalf of UHI, I wish you every success and every happiness with your next steps. So can I please ask guests to remain seated until the platform party, the academic procession, and our 2022 nursing and midwifery graduates have left the church. Thank you very much.